Hey guys, how's it going? And thanks for coming. I'm Nick, and this is Real Life Money, where we talk about real life and money, because schools aren't. So let's get started. So do you have student loans? Well, if you went to college in any way, shape, or form, you probably do. But luckily for you, this video goes over 7 ways of how to pay off your student loans. Now, all 7 of these ways are important, whether they're small or big ways to change of how we handle our money. And the most important way is the last and 7th way that we're going to go over. That kind of ties everything together. So let's start it off with number 1. The first way that we can start paying off some student loans is obviously the obvious one, is get a higher paying job. Now, I know it's not mind-blowing, but unfortunately a lot of college graduates do have a normal job with a degree they're not even using, unfortunately. So I guess the 2 ways that you could go about this situation is finally going toward and moving up in the fields that you studied, or another option, a lot of people might not like it, it is an option, is to kind of forget about it and move somewhere else where you see more growth potential. If you have one of those like useless degrees, like, I don't know, a master's degree in like sock puppet making, I don't know, you might want to try something else. Now, this might mean you have to step outside of your comfort zone. And in most situations, comfort zones are very bad. Comfort zones are kind of like on cruise control. If it's working, you could get by, you stay there, right? But you don't outperform anything. So you kind of have to step out of there. Now, when you do that, it might be awkward, it might be uncomfortable, be scary, and you might have no idea what to do. But you will be happy that you did step out of your comfort zone and try different things. Now, when you do those different things, gain different experiences, you will learn from that, and you could adapt to further grow. Like a quick example for me, this YouTube channel is a huge step out of my comfort zone. I'm normally a quiet guy in my corner doing my thing, but now I'm like talking all the time. But at the same time, I'm learning and growing from it, which is why I like doing it, and I like talking about money and showing you guys stuff about money as well. But if you are looking for a job or don't know how to look for a job, I do have another video of how to look for a job, a few ways to do that. I'll leave a link in the description for you guys to help you out. While you're looking for these jobs, just go for it. Even if it seems out of reach and you would never go for something, go for it. See what happens. Or try to go for something else so you could get to that thing that you wouldn't be able to go to. Also, never assume anything. A lot of people might say, oh, don't go for that job. No one wants that job. It's a bad job. Well, you technically don't know that because you didn't try it. So, go for it. In a lot of cases, we assume that some job, we think it's a bad job. But in reality, it's kind of a step up. You'll be getting paid a little more. You'll get more experience. And you're kind of moving up the ladder in that way. You don't have to stay there. Try it out. Get the experience. Well, that was a mouthful for number 1 way, but let's move on to the number 2 way of how to pay off your student loans, which is get a more affordable car. Now, usually I go after the luxury cars, right? Obviously, because they're more expensive. The Lexuses, the BMWs, the Mercedes. But it's not only those. Fun fact for you, the average car payment, guys, is around $500, which is ridiculous. So if you have a $500 car payment, do not complain to me about money. But also realize that it's not only those luxury cars. It could be the middle class, economy, whatever type of cars as well, like Hondas, Hyundais, Toyotas, whatever. It's not necessarily the brand of the car, it's how new the car is. Even if you get a Toyota, if it's a 2017, it is probably at least a $20,000 car, guys. That's still expensive, and that's not even a luxury car, guys. So you might still be paying like $300-$400 a month for that not luxury car. So if you have debt of like any kind, definitely with student loans, you shouldn't be driving a new car. It is 2017 now. You shouldn't be driving a 2017 car. Shouldn't be even driving 2016, not 2015. You have an older car. Just because you can afford the car payments every month does not mean you could afford the car. That right there is a poor person's mindset. If you think $20,000 is a lot of money, you shouldn't be driving a $20,000 car. And just to stick the fork in a little more, cars are depreciating assets, guys. The more you drive them, the less they're worth. Moving on forward to the third way of how to get out of student loans, or to help you at least, is to sell your crap. Chances are, if you have student loans, that means you had textbooks at one point. Whether you used them or not, that's another question. But if you still have them, you should probably sell them to some other sap that doesn't use them. But this doesn't only have to be textbooks. This could be really anything. If you go on Amazon, eBay even, you could sell your old stuff. I actually made hundreds of dollars over the years doing this, especially while I was in college. I sold the textbooks that I didn't use, and I got, a lot of the times, got my money back. So not a bad idea for some extra money, guys. So let's move on to the fourth way that we can use to get out of student loans, is paying off other smaller debt. For example, if you have credit card debt, if you have a car loan, if you have some other type of personal loan or debt in any way, pay that off. So here's the deal, guys. When you have that smaller debt, right? Let's say you have some credit card debt. You're paying what? Like maybe $100, $200. Could be more, could be less, whatever. Here's an example. You're paying $100 or $200 a month. When you pay that off, like completely, the credit card is gone, you now have $100 to $200 extra, since you're not paying the credit card anymore. So you need to focus and destroy these little debts so you can collect that money instead of throwing it out there and using that for something bigger, like your student loans. Going back to selling your own stuff, the number 3 way, you might not, it's really not life-changing. You might get a few $100s. That's not going to bring down your student loans too much. But you use that for smaller debt. You save money on that, and that could help you with the student loans. If that makes sense at all. You have to not only pay the minimum on your credit cards, guys. Pay as much as you can to get out of that. You need to destroy your credit card soul fast. Now, the 5th way that we could use to pay off student loans is an idea that I use of you sacrifice in the short term so you could benefit for the long term. So what the hell does that mean? Basically, don't buy crap now. That'll get old. You'll get used to it and you'll throw away or get new things. So use that money for better things. So instead, hold off on that new phone, new car, new clothes, new whatever, fancy stuff. Yeah, it might suck, but it's smarter. And here's the deal, guys. Here's the thing with things, being materialistic, right? Think back to the time you first got your phone. I know you have a phone, so remember back to when you first got it. You thought you were happy when you got it, right? So this new thing, you're all excited. That's what you were, though. You were excited. You were not happy because it was something new in your life. Well, guess what happens? That gets old. You get used to it, and now look at your phone. You could probably punt it across your kitchen and you wouldn't care. That's what things are. They get old and they do not make us happy. So once we realize this, do not spend as much on just things, because it's a waste essentially in most situations, and use that money for something better, like your student loans. Almost coming up to the end, guide with number 6 way of how to pay off your student loans is your tax returns. Your tax returns are kind of like a forced savings account in a way, because the government and basically everyone takes more than they really need to, right? So then you get what you deserve in the first place back in the beginning of the year. So you might get, I don't know, some people get like thousands of dollars back. Use that for student loans, or even a smaller amount of it. You don't have to like put the whole amount towards student loans. You could like enjoy a little bit of it, I guess, but you put a small amount, even if you have like small credit card debt, going back to the other way, pay off other smaller debts. You need to start getting out of the hole that you're in any way possible that you can, guys, because if you wait, the hole is only going to get bigger. So you need to face it right now. And finally, the last and 7th way how to pay off your student loans, kind of ties everything together, is using your money wisely. That's some common sense, right? Well, unfortunately, common sense isn't so common anymore, so let me explain. You will get more money. I could almost guarantee you'll get more money. It might take years or whatever, but you will get promotions, you will get other jobs, and that sort of thing. So as you get older, you will get more money. But where does this all go, guys? Think back to your last raise, or last promotion, or the last new job that you got. You thought your life was going to be better, right? It was going to be happier because you're getting more money. Well, guess what? You're in that situation now. You're making more money. But is your life better? In most cases, you are in the same situation now as when you were making less money last year. Why is this? So let me give you an example. Let's say you have a $20,000 salary, right? And you get a new job and you'll be making $30,000. That's a good jump, not too bad. So you should be better off. That's $10,000 extra more. Well, here's the problem that no one really acknowledges, is that the more money that you make, most likely the more money you spend. So like you were living on $20,000, using the $20,000. Now you're making $30,000 and you're using the $30,000. You're using and spending more money because you're making more of it. So, in theory, if you went from the 20 to 30,000, when you're making 30, you should still be living on the 20, and that $10,000 gap you can use. A lot of people fall into that trap of when they make more, they spend more, guys. So do not fall into that same trap. And that kind of links to all of these ways, guys, because all of these different ways help you get more money. But if you end up using that more money in the wrong way, you're going to be in the same situation. So you have to use it wisely. I think it makes sense. So if you have any questions, comments, concerns, please leave them down below. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel, Real Life Money, where we talk about real life and money, because not many people do, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.